insert coin. Back to split, legging hits to the groin. Live in Mortal Kombat versus Shao Kahn. Resemble dad and mom just to face my fear. I had not to care to conquer life. Needed balls, bollocks, cojones to embrace aloneness. Hearing your life's less made my decisions lifeless, but I digress. You 90s rulers of life a mess by your behest. We do all what you say for a quest. Intention the best creates intended tension. Thinking there's secrets in the Snowden. Mad after facts out and about, so we spout hate to what we create. An endless cycle, the fate we articulate, capitulate. Forward checkmate on a checkerboard. Rise on a ripcord to see pots, pans. Looking up for fellow follow fans who sing praise and worship under all. But we can't have that unwanted subscription. We only subscribe to accomplish aspirations for those we say
I can go anywhere.
this is going to be very controversial. Very, very controversial. I'm going to keep it quick. 30 minutes, 3 people. Ain't no brother man from the 5th floor here. Still trying to figure out this camera and the angle and everything. But good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Thank you for viewing this show. Yes, sir. Y'all saw the title. That is a crazy title. I did that so YouTube doesn't flag the video. Because after I'm finished and I get it out there. Folk, if you're in the Black community, you hear this word coon being thrown around a lot. And basically, being a coon means you don't have the best interests of the Black community and Black people within yourself. You're more out for self. And we recognize that. And me personally, I don't like using the word, but I've found myself using it a lot more lately because we do have a lot of coons running around. Now, some examples I'm going to give because this show, this is my version of coons. These are the coons that have been able to slip by the cage, the trap, if you will. Because you know raccoons, you got to trap them or they'll mess up your garden. They'll go through your garbage. Hell, they might even show up in your house through the ventilation ducts and cause havoc. So, folks, I sit here and do this show today because it's easy to label the conservative coons. It's so easy. We could just do this all night. From your Tommy Sotomayor's, Jesse Lee Peterson, whose shirt I'm currently wearing. Larry Elder has been called a coon. Walter Williams, God rest his soul. Candace Owens, of course, she's like Queen Coon. Amala E from that's on PragerU, she's a coon. Diamond and Silk. And a whole, most Black people that are MAGA supporters, y'all call them coons. We can name the list all day, every day.
But it's just funny that black folks call the conservative sides a bunch of coons, but they neglect to also mention the other sides, the ones that are on the left side. You know, the left side of the tracks. I'm fixing to do that today. I'm only going to do 3, like I said. I want to do this as a recurring theme. And partly this was inspired by my interview with ZZ of A to Z TV here on YouTube. And I'm going to put a link to the interview we did up in the corner, you know, where they put it in the corner. So it should be right around there. Well, left side. Yeah, right around there. So after you do this, go listen to that. Give her a like. Go on her channel. Subscribe. Put her over. Tell her I sent you. Maybe her people will see it. They'll come over here and we can build some more. But we were discussing Tamika Mallory, and I'm not gonna. She's reaching, but I've knocked her enough, and knocking her enough. I mean, she's like 95% there, but she's not going to be on this list today. No, there's 3 people I'm going to put on this list today. One, you know who I'm going to go after. I've gone after him a lot. But I think today is just going to be the definitive. And second person I'm going to go after is going to be a little controversial, just a little bit. And the third person, oh, y'all going to love the third person. That's why I'm going to save them for last. But let's get into the show. Now, before we start, he's here. That's right, folks. The Coon Mask is here. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this guy a couple times. So, depending on their crimes and how egregious they are, I'll pull them up. Either this way means that they're a coon. If it's to the side, means they're on the fence. And if it goes upside down, that means they've piqued my interest, but I'm going to wait and see. So let's begin. Person number 1, this man has gone a little crazy lately. And he said some egregious things over the years. And, you know, he's allowed his opinion. We understand this. And I would never begrudge someone to give up their opinion. But some of the things he said and some of his actions lead me to believe that he might have to go to a microscope, the coon microscope, if you will. And that's the person whose screen I'm going to share with you guys. Get ready for the show. Ladies and of the court, I know this is a O O N-raignment. He's got to be put on the microscope, ladies and gentlemen, and we're not talking about the most honorable Judge Joe Brown. We are not talking about Judge Joe Brown. Nope. We are talking about the brother on the left, Mr. Marc Lamont Hill. Now, he's been called many names. Marc Lamont Hill, Marc Lamoise Hill. I just call him defendant number 1. And defendant number 1 got on my radar after he retweeted. Well, how do they do it on Facebook? He shared someone's Facebook post a few years ago talking about the death of the Honorable Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, basically saying that she's a hack. I'm saying it nicely. She's a hack and a fraud. And he's glad that she's dead. This is essentially what the post he shared, they wanted to underline for everyone. And I wasn't on Facebook then, and I saw that post and I was like, okay. And this was on when I, got off the integration highway fully and said, let me start looking into more pro-Black things. So again, I've been on this journey for 3 or 4 years. So I was still a novice, didn't know anything. So I said, okay, let me look at it and just wait. We fast forward 4 years later. He said some more egregious things. But what ticked me off was, we all know Bill Cosby's home. Hey, Bill, welcome home, baby. And you looking good. You were looking good in that post yesterday when you were talking about your birthday. Shout out to you. You were looking good. I'm sure Camille gave you that good food when you got home. So shout out to you. But this man decided to espouse his opinion about Bill Cosby getting out. And again, not begrudging anybody with their opinion. How you feel is how you feel. You should be able to express it. That's the beauty of this country. You're allowed to express your opinion. But he said some things in that particular interview that did not sit right with me. When he was arguing with the judge, saying how Bill Cosby, he essentially called him not a free man. He got out because of a technicality. And, he should be doing his time for what he did with the women. Now, everybody knows I've been a staunch proponent of Bill Cosby because I felt as though he got railroaded. And this is going back way back in 2015 when I was following the case, and how he got the hung jury first and then he got the second trial up, and how it looked shady as crap because they used the woman who brought him in, Andrea Constant. They used his interview to basically create a case after he was granted immunity by the state of Pennsylvania. And they used that statement and her recollection of what happened to convict this man, which you can't do. So shout out to his representation and his legal team. They got him out, even though he had to sit down for over 2 years. But, it's a Black man, so he was going to have to do it. But what started getting my ire and why I've called him to the stand was he did an interview after Judge Joe Brown with Brittany Cooper and the Tyrannosaurus Rex, aka Tyranna Burke, former leader of Me Too, who got it hijacked from white feminists. They proceeded to do an interview together, again, all espousing their opinions. But it went dangerously into trying to push fact when you sat there and kept saying that this man raped these women. Yet when you look at his charges, he was not convicted of rape. He was convicted of indecent sexual assault. If he was convicted of rape, he'd still be sitting down. Even if they tried to bring up the technicality, I don't think it would have worked. If you look at those women's statements, none of them said he raped them. He gave them pills, gave them alcohol. He had his way with them. That's indecent sexual assault. That's not rape. But those three jokers decided to go on film and say that. And we all know, as a man, especially a Black man, how hard it is to get the R word off of you. And that put me and said, you know what? He just might be. So I analyzed everything, all his past transgressions. I'm not going to list them all here because that would take an hour. But go do your research and look this up. You don't have to agree with me on these, by the way, folks. You don't have to. But this is going to be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, Lark Lamont Hill is the first draft pick in the coon side of the left. There's no way in hell you're a black man out here in these streets and you allow yourself to say what you said. The Frances Cress Welsing stuff was egregious off top. Even the goddamn black conservatives who hated her wouldn't even go that far and call her what you called her and disrespect her how you disrespected her. As a black man, you should have been happy that he was out. We could debate what he did later. The fact that he got out should have been a win for black people. But the fact you brought women on and basically allowed them to slander that man's name and say libelous things on your program, I would not be surprised if Cosby's people are not set up and saying, you know what, we might have a case on them. Then you talk to the judge and basically was disrespectful to the judge who has more law behind him and more life experience. And you disrespected that man on your platform, resulting in everybody looking at the clip and ripping you apart. And your only consolation and the only people that were really on your side were people who don't do research and white liberals. Okay. Well, Mark Lamont, you're number one. You're officially deemed by me a coon. Let's go to number two. Number two. Now that said, this one is going to be controversial. We have to talk about it, folks. We're out here, and you know, life is tough enough already. Just being black in this country is tough. We get that. But as I told y'all in the Civil War episode, we're going to have to answer for these BLM. And us having to answer for these BLM idiots, we're going to be taking so many L's. So many L's. I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to understand. I get that America's not the greatest country ever. I get that. You could have your opinions on it. But, folks, we're not going to do this. Get you on those at the red, white, and blue. I get it. You're not finna do this. If people put rules for a reason, it's not to hinder you. They don't want anarchy. Now, I know y'all gonna say that sound like coon talk. It's not. There's a time and place for things. There's a way to move. I keep telling y'all gotta conform to change. I know y'all gonna say that sound like coon talk. It's not. This is how you dismantle the system. You gotta dismantle it from within. Doing it on the outside does nothing. When you want to take down a house, you don't shoot the outside. You take out the foundation. But, that's a lesson everybody has to learn. But, folks, I'm talking of this person right here. I told you this one's going to be controversial, folks. That's Gwen Berry, ladies and gentlemen. She is defendant number 2. We all know the story and the dust up at the trials. She came in 3rd. They played the national anthem when she was getting her medal. She said they set her up. She had an activist athlete t-shirt on her head. She turned to the left. No, she turned 90 degrees away from the flag. Said they set her up, and she went on a media blitz. Even the coon, Mark Lamont Hill, put her on, and she said what she said. Now, it's funny that I have to put her up there because, I'm all for protesting correctly. But like I just said, there's a way to maximize your message. What she did not maximize the message. Vote. Miss Gwen Berry did what she did. And not only did she do what she did, this is not the first time she did what she did. It's funny what you can find on the internet. So apparently, ladies and gentlemen, according to Wikipedia, she did this in Peru 2 years ago. Now, of course, she was going against Trump because that was the thing to do. So they were playing the Star Spangled Banner after she won the gold. She put her fists in the air. Everybody wants to be the Black Panthers, but don't want to follow Black Panthers' examples. But okay, fine. She did that in protests against injustice in America and, quote, a president who is making it worse. Berry's protests led the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee to issue new guidelines in order to allow peaceful expressions of protest, quote, in support of racial and social justice for all human beings. Berry has stated, quote, I'm here to represent those who died due to this systemic racism. Okay, so indirectly, she might have started off this whole wave of athletes kneeling at games. And I know y'all gonna tell me Kaepernick did it, but I'm talking about outside of football. Okay, fine. You know what? I'm not even gonna give her that much credit. Not even gonna do it. Berry was reprimanded by the International Olympic Committee, who placed her on probation for 12 months, prohibiting her from any form of protest for a year. Her act cost her sponsorships, and she estimated that she lost $50,000. $50,000. That's a lot of money, folks. A lot of money. Sponsorships. $50,000. I get it. Y'all gonna tell me money's not everything. It's about the message. Okay, great. $50,000 could have advanced your message. Well, the whole controversy last month was she's saying it was a setup because they played the anthem every day at 5:20. Officials at the meet said this, and they said the only reason why she probably went off was because it was played 5 minutes earlier when she was walking to the podium to get her medal. And she has accused critics of her protests of favoring patriotism over basic morality. Now, one of her main tenets are she feels like the anthem is disrespectful to the slaves that came before us and that the Star Spangled Banner should not be played. Okay. I agree with her because I've studied the Star Spangled Banner. Yes, it is disrespectful to slaves. Again, this was a song created when we were still not considered people. So I could sit here and be a dick and say, get over it, but that's not going to change nothing. If she wants to protest, here's what you do, Gwen. If you hear this, put on some headphones. That's not protest. You could even lie and say, well, listen, I wanted to listen to the radio in the stadium and hear what they were saying. I'm giving you a way to protest. Because as a black woman, I got to give you respect for what you're doing for the country. Here's where you lost me. You competed all those days and heard the anthem. What did you do? Did you walk out of the stadium? Don't know. Okay. You've done this before and got reprimanded. What would have happened if they kicked you off the team? Were you going to scream racism then? Because y'all tried it with Sha'Carri and that didn't work because the rest of the team is black. You at least may have a leg to stand on because hammer throwers, the two that beat you were white. So you might have a legitimate gripe. But we all found the picture of you 4 years ago with the American flag holding it up real nice. I don't know. It might not have been 4 years ago, but we have that picture. The internet doesn't forget. So it was cool then to represent that flag, but now it's not cool. And I get it. You might have did research. You might have followed what's going on in the news and you changed your opinion. Cool. I got that. Here's my thing. If America is that bad, why wouldn't you go as an independent athlete? I wish I could talk to her, so I would ask her that question. I'm going to ask it again. Hey, y'all could tweet it to her. You tell them, Kid Gravity of the Beyond Borders podcast, ask this question. If you dislike what America's anthem stands for, why are you representing the country? A, and B, why don't you go to the Olympics as an independent athlete? Because they have some there. So there wouldn't be any precedent. That way, if you win or you medal, you can play whatever song you want. But we're not going to ask that question, right? Because we're not going to ask that question, right? Okay, fine. My determination, looking at all the evidence. Not yet. I want to see what she does in Tokyo. So it's upside down, folks. That means she's piqued my interest, but I'm not going to call her that yet. Not yet. I want to see what you do in Tokyo. If you pull something, you come back under the microscope. If you do nothing, we're here for you. But that's her. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I go, we have to do it. Y'all scared. I want all the smoke on this one. I want it all. Bring your MSNBCs, bring your CNNs, bring your Black Girl Magic. I got Black Girl Tragic for you. Bring them. Because, folk, this is y'all's fault, by the way. Y'all got this person in this realm, and it's going to be your job to get them out. Bam, and you say, God damn, this is a dope jam. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to do it. The most powerful Black woman in the country right now. Y'all, Kamala Harris, aka Heels Up Harris, Headboard Harris, whatever you want to call her. Kicks up Kamala, whatever. Oh, she's been egregious. Hasn't she not, folk? Egregious. Folk, this woman locked up Black men past their time, wanted them to go fight wildfires. Let's see. Lied on the Breakfast Club saying that she smoked weed and listened to Snoop and Tupac in college when she was in college in the 80s and the two didn't even come out yet. Let's keep it going. She had the opportunity to arrest and prosecute Oscar Grant's killers. Did not do that. Let them leave with their pensions fully intact. Let's see. Let's keep going. She slept with a married man and walked into his 60th birthday party on his arm while his wife was in the room. Let's see. What other charges can I levy on her? Oh, yes. Said just she was a Black woman, proud to be a Black woman. Yet, ladies and gentlemen, when she did her acceptance speech November 7th, she put over the South Asians, did she not? Something for a Black girl. Go ahead. Let's keep it going. What else did she do? Oh, yes. Has no Black woman agenda. Still haven't heard one. And she's been in power for about 6 months now. Where's your Black woman agenda? Still waiting on this. Helped Cory Booker push an anti-lynching bill, but since she's been in office, haven't heard anything about the anti-lynching bill. Interesting. That's funny. Oh, and she's fostering a toxic environment within her office, which is commanded by a Black woman. It's funny that y'all let Uncle Tim trend on Twitter about Tim Scott. But let someone would have said something about Kamala Harris. All y'all come outside. For a woman who hasn't even established that she was Black. But because y'all said she was Black, she gets to become defendant number 3. Defendant number 3 claims that she's Black. Why? Because her daddy's from Jamaica? Again, I've asked this question. Has her daddy established that he was Black? Because my family's from Jamaica. Obviously, I'm Black. But if you look up Jamaica, Jamaica's kind of like the U.S. It's a melting pot. So by your logic, just because her daddy's from Jamaica makes him Black? So what about an Asian person that was born in Jamaica? Are they considered Black? What about a British person or white person? What about an Indian? Because we have Indians in Jamaica. What about the Afro-Cubans that might be there? See, these questions you guys don't want to ask yourselves. You just want to label everybody Black because you think it'll benefit you. So we've listed her crimes, folks. The Kamala jockey showed up. They went out and said that they're championing her because she went to HBCU. Whoop-de-dee. Talking about y'all stepping for Biden and get your booty to the polls. Y'all never would have done this if he did not pick her as VP. None of you. No black chicks down here in Atlanta would put on their sweatshirts from their sorority to take a drone picture of them holding up their hands, talking about they stepping for Biden. No way. If you don't believe me, go look up that picture. Get your booty to the polls. I've discussed this on the show. No way in hell y'all would have done that commercial if he did not pick Kamala Harris. I'm sorry. The DNC picked Kamala Harris to be his running mate. No way. But y'all want to sit up here and tell me she a black woman, she got your best interest at heart, when she knows the border crisis affects us first before it affects everybody else. Y'all swear up and down y'all are black people, but y'all are accepting a woman who is married to white supremacy and taking care of white supremacy's kids. But y'all want to tell me that she's for you. Dollars to Donuts, she sat in that meeting with Biden, with those Democratic mayors, talking about what we going to do about this crime. Guarantee you they brought up that crime bill. She's probably sitting in the corner quiet. But folks, I'm not going to linger too much because we listed her crimes. And ladies and gentlemen, she gets a special reward today because Kamala Harris, you have been officially labeled a coon, but not just a coon, madam. You get the honorable distinction of being a one-drop coon because we are still calling your blackness into question. Just because you wear Jordans and talk about weed does not make you black. So you are officially a one-drop coon. And I don't care who get mad. You can flag the video. I have the recording. I'll put it up somewhere else. Maybe I'll put it on Rumble. Maybe I'll put it on Locals. I don't know. But what we're not going to do is allow these left side coons to come back around and mess up the neighborhoods and mess up our agendas more than they already are. And like I said, I'm only doing 3 today because I have others I got to get. Roland Martin, you definitely going to get. You definitely coming up for arraignment. Let's see. The cats, these I'm going to be wary of this one, but I might have to call out Chicago as a whole because I don't understand what's going on up there. We need Chicago if we're going to pull this, getting black people on a straight and narrow. We need them. Who else going to get it? I was going to name 2 other chicks, but they passed away and they were talking about the coffee venereal disease. I might have to do that on the actual podcast because I know as soon as I mention it here, they're going to flag the video down. Talk about medical misinformation. So I got to be careful how I'm going to do this. Maybe I'm going to have to, I don't know. I'll figure that part out. But I might not put them up either because, like I said, they passed away and it doesn't matter at that point. But, oh, yeah. And I know, and Oprah, Oprah, you're gonna get a special session. You might just get your own show on this one because you've done a lot of egregious things. But I'm not gonna spoil that part. That part will be next. But I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta get ready for this Clubhouse show. If you do have Clubhouse, 8 o'clock, I'm going to be talking about the Crime Bill 2.0 that is coming. And I'm going to personally ask all Biden Harris supporters to come on stage. And I want to personally thank you for what's about to happen. So if you can, check me out, Kid Gravity. I'm on there. I'm going to dust it off and we're going to have fun. But I'm going to get out of here. Take care. I'm out.